Welcome to Jane's Corner.
Yes, welcome to Jane's Corner. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. As you can see, we have our first ever guest with us. This is my husband, aka Mr. Editor, aka Mr. Cameraman, aka photographer, everything to do with Jane's Corner. This is the man behind it. And I want to say thank you for being here because we're here for a reason, right? We just recently celebrated our first year anniversary, which has been a blessing. We feel grateful and we are so thankful. And before I continue again, let me just say thank you because I know this is completely out of your comfort zone. You don't like to be the center of attention. He's not as talkative as I am. He's more reserved than I am. He's a bit more shy and likes to be behind the scenes. So him being here took a little bit of convincing. So please bear with us, but I think we'll do well. Yeah, so like I said, he's here for a reason. We celebrated our first year anniversary, but it got us thinking about how before we got married, everyone had so many opinions and we got so much advice, which was nice. But some of it was quite scary, if I'm being honest. And can you remember one of the things that kept repeating, like people kept repeating?
Yeah, I do remember. One of the things that people kept repeating was the first year of marriage would be the hardest.
Yeah, like people kept saying, yeah, you guys must just be strong. The first year of marriage is hard. Marriage in general is not as what you see in the movies. Marriage is hard and this and that and that. Wait and see. We were told wait and see. You guys are just excited now because you're not yet there. So we're like, okay, maybe we are being a bit naive. And look, don't get me wrong. By no means am I saying our marriage is perfect or our relationship is perfect. That's not the point of this video. But at the end of the day, it really did kind of scare us a bit, and we're thinking maybe we were being unrealistic about what marriage was and so on. So this video is we're actually doing this video just to get that, like, to answer that question. Was the first year of our marriage as hard as we expected it to be, or what people said it would be? And if so, how did we survive our first year of marriage? So yeah, was it as hard as
It wasn't as hard as what we've anticipated, but everyone is entitled to their own story.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone is entitled to their own story. So different strokes for different folks. Guys, like everyone's life is different. So we found that it wasn't as hard as we thought it would be according to what a lot of people told us. But then we also realized that you paint your own picture, right? It's not perfect, but you paint it and you decide what it's going to be. So we want to share a few things. What helped us? What helped us get through our first year of marriage? What can you say for you was one of the things that helped us in our first year of marriage?
I would say, firstly, it's putting God in the center. Because God is our rock and He's the foundation of our family.
Yeah, that is I think that is the most important thing. If you think about it, keeping God at the center, because God is the strongest foundation you can ever have. So if you're building something, what better foundation to have it on than God? It's so important. In fact, a friend told me the other day, he's like, I'm kinder when I read my Bible. And at first I was like, but it's true. I think God makes me a better person, and if I'm a better person, then I am gonna be a better wife. And it goes for both of us. I think it's important to have your own individual relationships with God. You can't say as a couple. Yes, it's important to have a relationship as a couple with God, but individually is also good because we're not always on the same level in our faith. Sometimes I'm more demotivated, or he could be demotivated, and if I'm feeling stronger, then I can help lift him up or pray for him, and vice versa. We're not always feeling it at the same time, or prayerful, or just, I think you guys get what I'm trying to say. So having that relationship with God, keeping him at the center, is so important. When you're pursuing God, I think it's very hard to have selfish tendencies. If you're truly pursuing God, God has a way of working on your heart, I tell you. It's very hard. It's very hard to be selfish and mean and rude. because God is forever working if you are truly pursuing Him. So yeah, and we also went for premarital counseling.
Oh yeah,
That
premarital.
helped.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember. Premarital counseling basically is a course that one takes before when you're interested in getting married.
Yeah.
And I found it very very interesting because I got to learn about her love language.
We have very different love languages. But if you don't know what love languages are, I'll link down below. It's a concept that was developed by Dr. Gary Chapman. He has a whole book about it. If you're in a relationship, I suggest you read it. If you don't want to read, you can listen to the podcast. There are so many quizzes online actually that you can take, and I'll try and find those resources and link them down below for you guys. It was so important. And during the premarital counseling, we learned. I was very arrogant, I think, because I thought, oh, I'm a very good communicator, this and that and that. And then when I went there, my bubble was burst because I think everyone has something they can learn. You know, we all have habits that we had to break before we got into the marriage. And we are still learning. We still attend courses, and like we just attended before the lockdown, the first lockdown, we were actually attending a marriage enrichment course, and which helped us. And our church provides these resources, which is a beautiful thing. If your church does too, sign up. It always helps. It always helps to or have people around you. We are surrounded by really strong marriages, so that also helps us. But yeah, I think that is something that I can say. The second thing that was important, I feel, that helped us is keeping our friendship.
Oh yeah.
In fact, I know this was one of my vows. Do you remember? I vowed to cherish our friendship. Yes. Keeping our friendship alive.
And you always need to remember that before anything else, we're friends.
Yeah.
We're still dating.
Yeah.
And then we constantly put in that effort to surprise each other, wow her, have fun, travel, do anything that makes the both of you
and
happy.
doesn't even have to be fancy, guys. Like sometimes we just play cards.
Yeah.
It
always
doesn't.
win.
You always win.
Yeah.
He thinks he always wins. Sometimes I let him win, but it's it's fine. But yeah, so yeah, it doesn't have to be that deep. Just being friends. Think of how you are with your friends. You don't think about it too much. I mean, there's nothing worse than having a stiff environment in the household. Guys, marriage is long. It's for the rest of your life. Or at least that is how I feel about marriage. It's for the rest of your life. You see this person more than you see anyone else in your life.
And you need to be comfortable to catch you back. You need to be comfortable to talk to your friend. So she's my best friend.
Aww.
And yeah, you are. So I constantly share things, my daily struggles, my daily activities, or whether we win, or whether we do this. I share it with her, and it's an open communication that we have. So her being my friend,
it makes it easier. Like there's no judgment, there's no walking on eggshells. Like just being friends, playing, dancing, singing, whatever. A lot of people think that Ephraim is very serious, but guys, there's a side to this man. He's actually goofier than I am, believe it or not. But anyway, I'm not gonna spill everything here. But no, just having fun, you know, playing, remembering that yes, it's nice to be romantic and, you know, be lovers and so on, but there's nothing as beautiful as being friends. You know, even when you can't do all the other stuff, just being friends. So I encourage you, if you are not yet married yet, and you're just dating, or, you know, planning on getting married, invest really in your relationship as a friend first, because friendship really goes a long way. So yeah. What's the third thing that you feel that we learned that is such an important thing, and we have to keep applying, or we applied to help us?
I believe communication.
Yeah.
Because communication is very, very vital.
Oh.
It's important. There are different styles of communication, firstly. That we communicate very different.
We do. This is another thing we found that in premarital counseling.
Yeah.
We communicate very differently.
Very different.
I remember actually when we started premarital counseling, I was a bit arrogant, if I'm being honest, because I thought that I was a very good communicator. I thought like, no, when we go, I'm going to be, I'm a good communicator. Ephraim is more quiet, so he will learn to be more open. But then I realized just because he's more quiet, it doesn't mean he's communicating wrong. That's just his way of doing things, and it's important, like he said, because, like, for example, our communication styles. I'm more expressive, I'm more emotional, so I like to express it, and I want to talk about it that time. Whenever we have a disagreement, I want to talk about it that time. Here's the complete opposite. He would rather go for a walk or go for a drive and calm down and get his thoughts together before we have the conversation. So at the beginning, I used to think like, he doesn't care. Why doesn't he want to have the conversation? Why doesn't he want to resolve the situation now? But then the more we spoke and the more we learned about communication styles, I realized no one is wrong or right. We just do things differently. We do things differently. And when you learn those types of things, then you're like, oh, okay. When he's going away for a drive, it doesn't mean he doesn't care. He just needs some time to think about it. He'll come back. So I can have a little bit more patience. Not that I always do, but at least it's in the back of my mind now and I understand. And same with him. Whenever he decides like, oh, I just need a few minutes to think about it, he can communicate and say, it's not that I don't want to talk. It's just that I need to go and put my thoughts in order. Then you're like, oh, okay, then at least no one feels neglected in that way. But in the same sense, you cannot assume what your partner is thinking if you don't if you don't talk about it. You need to be able to ask the person like, why is it that you do this? It hurts my feelings and this. How can we resolve it? Because when you're just thinking for yourself, you have conversations with yourself and your partner doesn't even know. Ephraim used to tell me this when we started dating. He used to be like, why do you like thinking for me? And I used to be like, what do you mean I'm thinking for you? He's like, no, you assume that I'm going to react how you will react. You assume that I'm going to think the way you think, but that's not how life works. And it's true. You have to be able to talk to the person and ask the person, not just think. We can't read each other's minds, basically. Yeah.
Now you need to ask your partner if there's something wrong. Do ask her, because you don't want to step out of your marriage to go and consult with somebody else without her even knowing that you're actually having a problem. So it's best you just open up, have that transparency. So once you open up to each other, you resolve something that
could have been avoided.
Yeah.
That's so true. And I think that even with women, I think I'm guilty of this. I think sometimes as women, we like to talk.
Tea time.
Tea time. We like to talk and we express ourselves and so on. And then we complain to our friends or our siblings about what our spouses are not doing or our partners are not doing. But then if you think about it, out of those maybe 10 times, how many out of those times did you actually talk to your partner first before you went to go talk to someone else about it? And that's why I'm saying it's a thing of it could avoid so many problems. And we are really speaking from experience, because these are misunderstandings and arguments that we had as a result of this, and we realized that it could be avoided if we were just more open with each other. And it's that analogy that you do of, what is that game?
Whereby I'll tell you something, I'll whisper it in your ear, then you need to pass it on.
Yeah.
By the time it gets back to me.
Yeah, the message is distorted. I think we all played this game in kindergarten. I don't know if it's a telephone game or I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
But where one whispers one thing into the other's ear, by the time the message comes back to the original, it's a completely different message. So just be careful who you tell. Make sure it's a trusted person. Make sure it's someone who has the best intentions. And you honestly don't need to tell everyone. You need to be able to talk to your partner. That's why we talked about friendship earlier. This person should be the person you talk to the most.
Should be comfortable with one another.
You should be comfortable to one another. Obviously, if it's like a big issue where you need elders and it's something else. But I'm just saying some things can really be avoided. And this goes even before you get married, just being transparent, telling the person if you have big issues that need to come out before the marriage, you know. You know, things like debt, things like children, things like what?
Any unresolved
illnesses,
yeah.
Any big things. It's important to be transparent, because if your partner doesn't know before you get into it, there's no way you can expect your partner to trust you in your marriage. There's just no way, because you entered in it already hiding things. So yeah, let's just open communication. Let's be able to talk even about the most uncomfortable things, because that's the person you chose to be with. Prioritizing each other. People, okay, let me speak for us. I think sometimes we take it for granted that we are already married, and we forget that you still need to to constantly put in the work. You know, we take it for granted, like, oh, we are married. You hear people saying, we are married, where is he going, where is she going? But then you still need to make the person feel valued. You still need to choose that person every single day, making that person feel a priority and recommitting yourself every single day. I know it sounds like it's too much, but it's true. Time can go by without your partner even hearing what they mean to you, you know what I mean, or feeling valued by you, because like I said earlier, life gets in the way, work gets busy, school, bills, whatever. So it's easy for us to kind of slack.
Just like,
yeah.
So, but you need to remember that you constantly need to keep dating.
You do.
Basically, you're dating when you're in a marriage.
Yeah.
So once you put in that work, by when I say work, I mean I need to wow her still. I don't need to just be relaxed to say, oh yeah, we tied the knot, so it's done. No, we still need to put in that work.
Still
to
dress
just
up.
Those little, she loves notes, so here and there you need to write the little notes just to encourage her. It's a beautiful thing, because that's what her love language is.
Yeah.
So prioritizing
just
her feelings.
Yeah.
It's really important.
You reminded me of something now when you said prioritizing feelings. When we were attending our premarital counseling, there was a day that our pastor double booked. He was supposed to have tea with his wife, and we had our session at the same time. So he came and told us, and he was like, look, I know we have a session, but I have made a commitment to have tea with my wife. And so I'll leave you with an assignment and go and have tea with my wife quickly, just so that she knows that I didn't forget, and then I'll come back. And when he came back, he explained to us, he's like, you know what? My wife's feelings matter. I don't want her to think that I dismissed her, or like I chose other people over her, or anything like that. And it sounds like a small thing, but these people have been married for
over 50 years.
Yeah, over 50 years. So that says a lot. That says a lot. And happily married, because they still look at each other. He still calls her sweetheart, and you know, you can see the love is still there. But what we mean is just those little things where your partner feels valued, like they don't feel like, you don't just feel like
doing it alone.
Yes, like you're just robots in the house, and there's no, you know, just remember to be romantic. Remember what your partner likes. Remember to make them feel valued. It's so important. You chose to be with this person. Hopefully you're not forced into your marriage.
At gunpoint.
Yeah, you're not at gunpoint when you got married. You chose to be with this person. So continue choosing them. Continue making them feel like you made the right decision. Continue reminding them that you are still happy that you're with them. Because it's so easy to just dismiss and you know, I hate the saying. I always hear the saying, the grass is greener on the other side. I completely disagree. I always say this to you, the grass is green where you water it. It's green where you water it. You can't expect your grass to be green if you don't put water and fertilizer in it. It's the same thing with relationships. Now you see other people and you're like, yeah, that looks like a better relationship, but when was the last time you even told your partner that you love them, or even just took time out of your busy schedule to spend time with them, you know? But it goes back to communication. You have to be able to talk. Like I said, when we slack, he can come to me and he'll be like, babe, I just feel like we need to do something, you know, we haven't spent time. Or I can go to him and I'll be like, I feel like you've been so busy, we haven't even really spent time in a while. Then we are aware that we feel a bit not neglected, but you get what I mean, then we can adjust it. It's not just something that happens automatically. And I think that's the assumption we make. We think that just because we are together, the other person must know that I love them. No, it's not automatic. You have to continuously put in the work, continuously make this person feel important to you. Yeah.
And at the same time, I think you need to come up with a time where it's quality time for the both of you, just so you guys can look each other in the eyes and just
in the eyes. But you know, it doesn't even need to be fancy. I think sometimes when people think of quality time, they think of like a 5-course dinner or something like that. It's not always that. We learned that again in one of our courses. Even just taking a walk.
Marriage enrichment.
Yes. Even just taking a walk together, or waking in the morning before you get out of bed and start the day, just talk, like, how are things going, you know, just
catch up.
It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It really doesn't. You know, all these things we're talking about are connected if you think about it, because it goes back to friendship also. Just being able to be like, okay, let's switch off the TV for a few minutes. Let's put our phones down. What's happening? You know, are you okay? And you know, it's so easy to take it for granted, I tell you. But when you do put in the work and you communicate, if you're feeling neglected, it can make all the difference.
See the fruits.
Yeah. So the last thing that Ephraim wanted to share that he feels that has helped us and we realized is something that we are going to continue to do is,
please don't compare yourself to other relationships. Don't compare yourself to any other person's relationship, because you don't know for how long they've been planning.
Yes.
How they've just the structure of how their relationship is built on.
Just don't do it. Don't do it. Comparison, I'm sure we can all say it together now. Comparison is the thief of joy. I've said this. If you haven't watched my video on the culture of comparison, I'll link it down below. But I've said this. In general, just don't compare yourself to anyone. Everyone's life is different. Everyone's budget is different. Everyone's lane is different.
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. Just focus on you. Stop looking at what other people are doing. Stop looking at what is... Because when you continuously look at what people are doing and what people have, you start to miss what is going on in your relationship. You only see the negative things. And that's the thing. Now you're on Instagram and you see people are going on vacations, people are buying houses, people are doing A, B, C, D. And then you come home to your partner who thinks everything is fine. And then all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, Ephraim, why don't you also take me to Dubai? Or why don't you take me to Thailand? Why don't you also buy me a car? And why don't you, you know? And then he's like...
We will. With our time.
With our time, you know? You do things at your time. Your budgets might be different. Those people might have saved up, like you said earlier. You don't know how long people have been planning their things. Now you're putting unnecessary pressure on your relationship.
And people have different jobs as well.
People have different jobs. People have different goals in life.
Responsibilities.
Yes, responsibilities. So you can't be looking at people's Facebook status or Facebook uploads and Instagram and WhatsApp, just social media, and then you think that your life is not good because whose partner did this for them. Remember, people only show a good side. You never know what's going on behind closed doors.
The highlights.
Yes, people only show you the highlights of their life. Even I only post the nice pictures on Instagram. So just be careful when you do that. Yeah, and even just about roles in relationship. I always see people, it's like everyone must fit in one box. Like, we don't all do the same. Some husbands help their wives clean, some don't. It's fine. If it works for you, it works. Some wives prefer to be stay-at-home moms while the husband works. If it works for you, it works. Some husbands stay at home while the wives are the ones going to...
Whichever one makes work.
Whatever works for you. Don't now say, no, my aunt and my cousin and my friend's cousin, they do that. Why don't we also do this? You are different people. You have to design what works for you. You have to, it's not the one size fits all. You decide what works for you. Don't put unnecessary pressure on your relationship. It will just cause arguments. you cannot be competing with other people because you just don't know. You don't know what's going on behind there. We are all different. So stay in your own lane, because you're gonna stumble looking at someone else's lane. You really will. So
don't look at other people's blessings, because you'll forget that you're also getting blessings.
True. Don't forget. Don't look at. You're busy counting other people's blessings and you forget to count your own blessings. And you might have a loving partner who's considerate and caring, but just because someone else's partner took them to Dubai or Thailand or buys them roses or whatever it is, and then now you think, oh, my partner is just not, but your partner is doing everything that they can to be there for you, you know? So that's all for today. I know this was a long video. It was a long video, but really we've learned from our mistakes, and we wanted to share with you guys because we feel like these are things that we've learned and that help us on an everyday basis, really. Yes, we've been married for only a year, but we've learned so much, and by the counsel of our family and our, just people around us and so on, we've learned so much, and we wanted to share this. Marriage doesn't have to be this difficult, hard thing if you put in the work. True. Two takes two. That's why I wanted to do this video with Ephraim, because I didn't just want to talk by myself, because we're in this marriage together. It takes two. So yeah, that's all for today.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Hey, yes, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to share it. And comment down below. I also want to hear from you guys. Is there anything you want to add? I mean, these were just 5 things. There's so much more that goes into it. Is there anything else you can add that you feel that really helps in relationships? Is there anything that you can say that, oh, okay, maybe I do need to adjust a few things here and there? Or do you agree? Do you disagree? Whatever. What are your thoughts? I want to hear your thoughts. Comment down below. And remember, it's not just for married people. If you're courting, you're dating, you're thinking about it, this is for you too. Like, we can all learn from this. I think some of these things actually apply to just relationships in general. It's not necessarily just marriage. But yeah, comment down below. And if you feel like you know someone who might, want to hear this, share the video with them as well. But yeah, until next time, guys. Oh, if you liked Ephraim being in this video, please comment down below so that he can come back. Let him know that you liked it, and comment down below, or like the video, then he will come back, because like I said, it took some convincing. But yeah, guys, until next time, stay blessed.